Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a slightly different video. Earlier this week, Pathia Games released some information about the new My Time game, My Time at Evershine. The same day they released the Kickstarter date, which is the 24th, and they also released the reveal trailer. They also made the Steam page live, and I was looking at, and it was overwhelming. It was fully overwhelming. There was so much information to take in. And some of the information did leave me asking questions. So I was going to make a follow-up video, but then I kept getting thinking of more questions. And so I wanted to wait until some of my questions were answered. So that's why I'm making a follow-up video much later than I wanted to, just because articles have come out that have answered some of the questions. So we're going to get into some of the stuff. It's going to be a little bit of a review of the Steam page, and then a little bit of my reactions to a few things. So here is the Steam page. It's on my wish list, as it should be on yours. So just a quick thing, this is the description the devs have given it. Be the governor of a brand new settlement on the fringes of the free cities, facing the almighty Duvos Empire. Recruit settlers, build infrastructure, tame the wild, and lead your people to become a new cornerstone for the Alliance in this action-packed simulation RPG. So basically what Project Me was. But the thing that everyone cares about, the story, the romances, that's what we care about, right? So, develop romantic relations with 8 core charming NPCs, including 2 chosen by backer votes, and experience heart-pounding moments in every interaction. Beyond romance, you'll meet over 20 unique NPCs, each with their own personality, ready to be part of your settlement. As you invite them in, you'll forge deep, lasting bonds that grow over time. So here are the romantic NPCs thus far. Victor, no art yet. Tia, Ragnar, Avery, Freya, Hannah, and then 2 to be voted on. So then that got me thinking, what does it mean when they say core charming NPCs? What does that mean? So that caused me to start looking around, looking on the Discord, looking on anything, which then someone on their Discord found this. Someone wrote on Reddit, little bummed, only 8 romanceables for now, based on the info on Steam, but who knows, maybe that will expand based on Kickstarter goals or wish list. To which Pathia answered, we do have more than 8, but these 8 are the main romanceable characters. Stay tuned for more information. So that really didn't answer my question. But a lot of people were theorizing and got to kind of thinking. And I think what that means by the core, I don't think there's going to be as many romanceables. I really don't. I do think what they mean by core is like these are going to be the most developed of the romanceables. There may be others that are available, but they're not going to get the same treatment. That is kind of what I'm thinking. I have a feeling, again, tinfoil hat is going to be on for some of this. I have a feeling Ragnar and Avery for the guys are probably going to be your Logan and Fang. I'm imagining Tia, Freya, Hannah for the girls most likely are going to be like your Amira or your Emily from Portia or your Ginger from Portia. So decent amount of story, slightly developed, not as much as Logan or Fang, but slightly developed. I think Pathia knows their demographic. I think they know the majority of their demographic is women playing this game. I think they know at this point that the demographic is more mature women, not teenagers. So I think they are starting to cater more towards that. So we'll see. Then seeing the 20 characters and then the 8 core romanceables, that got me thinking, well, how does this line up to Portia and Sandrock? So Portia had 28 romanceables, had 23 non-romanceable characters, which includes Papa Bear and QQ. And then adoptable pets was 2, Pinky and Scraps, and then 1 Kickstarter was I believe Yo-Yo, a pangolin, was a Kickstarter reward. So, and then in Sandrock, so the next game, there was 21 romanceable characters. The majority of those did come from wishlist goals, because there was a wishlist goal for, I think, 500,000 or 600,000 wish lists that all romanceable characters were unlocked. So all single people. So that is where the majority of that came in. That brought us, I believe, Penn and Miguel, to name a few. It may have been Justice also. I don't remember the exact number. So then we have 23 non-romanceable characters, which includes ex-captain and Sandy. And then for pets, we have 4, Banjo, Macchiato, Nemo, and then a meerkat, who was also a wishlist goal. And then 1 DLC, which is the gecko, and then 1 Kickstarter in the Fennec Fox. So then Evershine, so far, we know 8 romanceable characters are guaranteed. How many there will be in the end, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 28 or 21. We'll see. I haven't found much more information on that. I think the most I've seen is 10. As long as they're fully developed, then I don't care. If I would rather have 10 well-written, well-developed characters than 21 or 28 characters in which a select few are developed and the rest are kind of like, if we have time, we'll get to it. Owen. I'm looking at Owen. So anyway, so then 20 non-romanceables. And when adoptable pets, we don't know. The only pet we have seen so far is the dog. And in Project Me, that was someone's dog. So I doubt that will be a adoptable animal. We shall see. They may not have an adoptable animal. I'd be a little surprised. We'll see. So then real quickly, just because I mentioned it, the Kickstarter goals, wish list goals. This is the stretch goals for the Kickstarter. Here's Portia on the left and Sandrock on the right. And Sandrock was unlocked all the way to 500K. That was the stretch goal for the Kickstarter. So that brought us the multiplayer in-game Kickstarter t-shirt. Wear the robo suit, which I'm guessing that's that one mission only, which I don't know, that's almost a little disappointing. More character customization, which was probably the extra hair. The buggy game, which was the last update. More visitors from Portia. So that was, spoilers, post-credit content of Ginger and Gust. And then alternative clothing for romanceables, which unfortunately was a DLC. Well, it was a DLC and then it was a free content update. So you can switch Logan from like the taupe to the blue. And then a new dungeon, which I don't know which one that was. I'm assuming it was the late game dungeon. And then this is the wish list goals. So for the wish list, that unlocked wearing makeup, customizable furniture, multiplayer play dates, kids grow up, an extra pet, the meerkat. Then the graphic is not updated. That's why I included this graphic, which is then 2 new romanceable characters. So Ernest and Jane, and then all available romanceable characters unlocked. So that was the final one, which is interesting because it's here, but initially it was down here, able to romance all eligible characters. So it moved from the 2 to 3 million to eventually from the stretch goals on the Kickstarter to a wish list goal. Would they do this again? Maybe. I have a feeling I don't know if it's going to be more attached to the wish list goals or the Kickstarter goals. Part of me kind of thinks the wish list goals again. We'll see. So then really quickly, just another description that the devs gave on the Steam page. The third game in the My Time series, Evershine is a 3D open-world simulation RPG that takes place in a wholesome post-apocalyptic world 330 years after the day of calamity destroyed civilization. After surviving the nuclear winter for hundreds of years underground, people are finally picking up the pieces again. The story takes place 3 years after the events of My Time in Sandrock and My Time at Portia. If you didn't know, My Time at Sandrock and Portia take place at the same time. The only slight difference is Sandrock starts a little bit before and it ends a little bit after the events of Portia. The Duvos Empire has taken over the Orzu region, which the Principality of Thea also claims as their own, leading to a tense situation just north of the Alliance of Free Cities border and the northern Eufaula region. So on the map, it is the area that I thought it was going to be, which is right around here. Just in case you were wondering, the devs, one of the artists, Zed, is I think he's in charge of the art. Said, I am still making the map with our UI artist. It'll show where everything is. So we are getting a new map. Yay. So yeah, we are right here. This is where we're going to be. So this whole lighter area is the Alliance of Free Cities. Portia's here, Sandrock is here. So we are going to probably be somewhere in this area. The Alliance initiated the Northern Development Plan to move more settlers into the region in an effort to establish a new city-state for a better defensive posture. It is calling for anyone interested in new opportunities to move to the region. So that we've heard some of this in Sandrock. The Northern Development Plan was brought up by Musa when we were trying to get him to invest in Sandrock. And then the whole entire thing of the Duvos Empire, of course we know that some of that story because that was Sandrock, but then the whole Orzu region and Nethea, we have heard that. Some of it you could have missed because a lot of it, if you didn't read your letters you got in the mail, that is where a lot of this existed. So part of me is tempted to do a whole video about the history of this world. I don't know if I will, but it was in letters, and then there was also a scene in town that was in the 1.0 release in which you had Trudy, Heidi, Hugo, Cooper, all discussing current events around the bulletin board in town. So if you just didn't read that dialogue, it wasn't voiced. It may now be voiced, I don't remember. But if you just kind of skipped through all that, that is where all of the Orzu region information against Nethea and like the princess Elise, I think, Alessa, Alyssa. That's where you would have heard all of that. So it easily could have been missed. Another thing I wanted to quickly look at was the Steam page also revealed some more pictures, some more art. So here we have Ragnar, one of the romanceables. In the trailer, he was shown climbing up this cliff. He's looking out over the desert. Maybe these are the Urzu runes right along the border. I do think he is in general, just from what I remember from the town layout, on the far west of the map, there was a evergreen forest and there was a big cliff and a waterfall. It was a scene where you met Burmy, who's no longer a character. I kind of think Ragnar in this scene is looking essentially like probably west, but a little bit south. That is where I think. Because if you look at down here to the bottom right-hand corner, there are some runes, and like the runes around Project Me, this is basically based off that fully. I think that's become kind of evident with the information that's been released thus far. The trailer, the scenery, the gameplay loop, it does seem like it is Project Me. So everything that I kind of said in the Kickstarter announcement video pretty much pertains to this, but this area here is part of the town where you had to clean it up. Then here's just a picture of the house with Freya, nice architecture. The housing for the game is going to be DIY, I think they called it. So you can prefabs and DIYs. So you can either have a house in which you just use the prefab thing from the art department, or DIY, where you pick and choose and customize what you want it to look like little by little. I will probably end up doing a mixture of both, just because if the prefabs are prefab, these two houses look identical. The stoop, the porch is a little different. The roof colors are a little different. The windows are the same. The type of this is the same. So I would probably do slightly different. And of course it shows Freya and then the male builder. And these characters were essentially people who you could recruit. They were very generic, very much like the tourists in Sandrock, very generic, but they are probably people who you can hire to help and recruit. And then, of course, the picture of Avery, showing him romanceable. So dashing. As you can see, we are now closer in proportion to him. Avery, I want to say, is like 6'5". I think they said he's like, on his bio page, he was either like 195 centimeters or 200, which is like about 6'5". Logan's about, I think, like 6'2" or 3. So if they say this word Logan, for Logan, we normally came right into the middle of his chest. So we are definitely taller, which is nice. I do appreciate the fact that our builder does look taller. I'm a little disheartened by the fact that some of the criticism I am seeing is of people saying, you took the charm away from the game. And that's what they all are saying. They all are using that specific word, charm. But they changed the art style because people asked for it. It was one of the most common things I saw on Discord under the suggestions was, make us look like an adult, make us look like adult. Why are we so little? Why are we so little? Give us a height bar, blah, 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 like that type of criticism and suggestions. And so the devs did take the criticism. And now that you have a more realistic proportion, now people are saying it lost its charm. I view us as the art team has always upgraded the character, which we'll show in a moment. So here we just have a fight scene showing that you can recruit townspeople. This guy looks like mule or donkey. Donkey, I think, from the scene with Logan, the cornered beasts. But the male builder is holding the great sword from Sandrock. Freya's holding the gun from Sandrock. These are the same barrels from Sandrock. And I believe Portia. But yeah, just showing that you can take NPCs into battle. Then, of course, the woman holding the Everglade thing, wearing the shark jacket. I do like the change up of the shark jacket, how it's kind of like a bomber jacket now. I do like that. I do prefer this kind of glow up of the shark pirates. And then it's a beautiful scenery of the Orzu ruins in the distance. Most likely you are looking south. How far south you are in this picture, I don't know. Being that the windmills are here, part of me thinks this is almost from the builder's house, because the builder's house was on the opposite side of all the ruins. That is what I think. I'm probably wrong. We'll see. I mean, it is what it is. So here I did a mock-up of all of our different builders from the angle we see them the most often, which is from behind, running around like a crazy person. To show the evolution of the proportions, essentially. So in Portia, we have a large head, tiny neck, still little, very little. Like I think for Gust, we came up to about his shoulder. Then here's Sandrock, which was definitely a huge step forward. We officially, smaller head, in proportion with the neck finally, smaller body, thin, tiny still. Because like I said, we came up to about Logan's chest. If we had to kiss Logan, we were always on our tippy toes. And then Project Me, which I can't judge it too harshly because it was still an alpha and it was for a mobile game. So different system, different everything. So I can't judge it too harshly, but we look like a child in this. Like this is the most childlike I think we had. Pigtails don't help. In the background, that was your workshop in Project Me. Like she is running away from town. And then here is Evershine. So we're definitely taller, definitely in proportioned head with the body, definitely long legs. That is for sure. As a long torso person, I've always wanted to be a long-legged person. So I do hope that they eventually add at least a height or a weight ability to change those. Because I don't know, it just... At least the weight one, I think would be nice. The height, I don't care as much. The weight one, I would like to see. So here is another image that I kind of put together for the woman in the white hair. So on the far left, we have Everglade from My Time at Portia. Then we have the woman from the Evershine trailer. Then we have Logan's mother. The only image we know for sure is Logan's mother on her wedding day. And then this is the woman on the far right who was in the Project Me teaser trailer. I think it's kind of safe to say that Everglade, she's Everglade. I think that's kind of safe to say at this point. The mole is in the exact same spot. I think it's just a nice glow up that she got. I mean, the ears are the same. The eye shape, of course, is different because different art. Part of me also thinks that possibly we could maybe rule out Logan's mother. I'm still leaving the door open. I think it's really important when it comes to all the speculation to keep your mind open that you could be wrong. I do see a lot of people like kind of digging their feet in the sand, like this is how it's going to be. Well, no, you don't know that. So just leave your mind open when it comes to speculation. Don't think that because you think something to be true, it's going to be true, because then it just leads to disappointments. Just keep that in mind with all speculation when it comes to this. But I kind of think, I don't think she's Logan's mother. She is Logan's mom. I mean, it's not only just the look, and like I said, different art, not as detailed. She could have a mole, we don't know. This woman does not have a mole. I think it's a safe jump to say these two were the same women. Ears are the same, jawline's the same, eye shape is the same. I have a harder leap saying that this woman is that woman. But also something to keep in mind is her age. This woman to me looks like she may be in her mid to late 20s. Again, some people are really difficult to age. Logan is one of them because Logan looks older. He's actually 28 years old. Since Logan is 28, we do know that in Sandrock. So say she got married at the age of 18. In today's modern world and in the United States, earliest legal age you can get married without a parental consent. So we'll base it on our modern laws. So say she got married at 18. Say the youngest she had Logan soon after getting married, 9 months later, she could still be 18, possibly 19. We'll just stick with 18. We'll stick with 18. So that means that based upon Logan's age, during the time of Sandrock, she would be 46 years old, possibly 47. So then now we have to add 3 years on because the game does take place 3 years after the events of Sandrock. So that makes her 49 to 50 years old. At the youngest, I know there are some people who just look fabulous for their age. I have a hard time making that stretch for her. The hair makes it difficult, of course, to age. I do not see her as a 49 to 50, possibly older woman. I have a hard time seeing it. I'm leaving the opportunity open, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I would love to know what happened to his mother. I would love to have that answer. Are we going to get it? I don't know. And so here's the DIY thing, which I'm not going to get into. We already discussed it a little bit. Then the multiplayer co-op is going to be coming standard with the game. You will be playing as the governor of the Evershine settlement, recruiting into the Northern Development Plan by the project's director, Mr. Gaudy. We have met Gaudy. He came with Avery during the summit in Sandrock. We have met him. Gaudy does live in Atara, so I have a feeling he will be a character. If we see him again, we'll drift in and out. Your job will be to build up the infrastructure either by prefab or DOI, which we covered, recruiting the right settlers, tame the wild, and build up your settlement into a strong presence next to the border. Along the way, you will find friendships, adventures, responsibility, and maybe even romance. We want you to leave the game feeling like you have accomplished something great together with your people in your towns. This just shows us having like a fireside with all the townspeople. Could be that we're recruiting somebody, who knows? And then, of course, the DIY, which we covered, it's coming with the multiplayer, and then customize your character, high quality art direction, unique settlers with their own stories, sign up to 3 followers that can help you in battle, lots of seasonal events, so festivals, and mini games, probably part of the festivals. Enjoy more side quests that flesh out the world, climb and glide everywhere. So you will have a glider, which they have in the trailer, and so much more. So that's the Steam page. Something that's not on the Steam page, which I have seen in a few articles, which has me a little like, is I've been seeing 40 hours of story-driven gameplay. That does have me a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna downplay that. That seems really short. I know this is a different type of game. You're building a city. So there's not as much story as Sandrock. But that also made me question, because I kept seeing that, like the 40 hours, 40 hours, 40 hours. I'm like, well, maybe it's 40 hours of early access, because I mean, that's what Sandrock's early access I'm currently playing Sandrock again, so I can tell you definitively that Sandrock's early access, like the very first release of Sandrock, was about 25 hours. I know that because, as I said, I am playing through it. Sandrock's early access ended with the rebuilding of the water tower. In town, Logan came, destroyed it, quote unquote, destroyed it. And there you go. That was the end of that. You rebuilt it, and that was the end of the early access, the initial release. So 25 hours for that. So 40 hours for an entire game is a little much. And so that I did start questioning, is it early access only? And then that's why I hadn't made a video, because this is something I wanted to know. So then articles have started to come out. So here is an article that I found that came out September 19th. So for me, yesterday. I'm not going to go into like all this type of stuff. A lot of it's repeating. But here it says, player will serve as a governor of a new settlement and play through a 40+ hour narrative featuring a cast of 8 to 10 romanceable characters. Rather than being the builder, who often would take care of tasks no one else wanted, the governor will be able to delegate smaller, more mundane tasks to your residents. The settlement begins modestly, just a small campfire, meaning the destiny of this burgeoning town is up to you. So the 40 hours, which seems, like I said, to be the full game, I am a little concerned, mainly because Sandrock in its totality on the channel save is 145 hours. I checked it before I recorded. It's 145 hours. We didn't do a lot of dawdling. I mean, we did a little bit of the DLC. So I'll take, say, 20 hours out. So we'll give it the benefit of 120 hours. That is a huge step down from 120, giving them the grace of taking away 20 hours, to 40. I don't know how I feel about that. If that's just the main story, fine. But then you better give me some more meat and have very developed characters if you're taking away 80 hours of gameplay. Or it needs to be a lesser price. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about this. I'm leaning more negatively than I am positively, just comparing apples to apples on game time. But we'll see. That is something that I need better explanation or a better breakdown of 40 hours of main story and then how many hours of side story content for characters. That is what I need to know. And it's something that I hope they release. They won't know for a while because it's still so early. But as someone who enjoys long-term gameplay, that's a little like, wow. Not gonna lie, that is a little wow. So anyway, that's the information that I have found thus far. I wanted to make this video earlier, but there was just, like I said, there's a few things I wanted clarified before I released information. Just because I had a few questions like about the 40 hours, about the core romances, so I wanted to make sure I kind of understood what that meant before releasing a video. The devs have said on their Discord that with the launching of the Kickstarter, I believe there's going to be another trailer because they have teased that only half of the score was used from the musician who wrote it. So I believe their name is Claude. Only half of the score was used. So there should be another at least 45 seconds of a teaser. I did check this morning and I believe the Kickstarter is up to 19,000. Hold on, let's check. Yeah, the Kickstarter is now up to 19,613. That's a lot. I mean, that really is a lot, especially when you look at Sandrock. And Sandrock in total had 9,915 backers. That's amazing. It really is amazing. So it's nice to see this much support. But anyways, yeah, I'm very excited. I still have my concerns, but my concerns are not like dampening my excitement much at all. I'm very excited. The biggest news for me was Avery being romanceable. Because, I mean, they made him into Prince Charming. Like, he looks like Prince Charming. So at Ragnar and Avery being romanceable, it's just like, okay, this is fine. You could literally do whatever. And those two are romanceable. I'm good. But I still do have my concerns. But yeah, I think we'll find out more information soon, hopefully. And little by little, we'll keep getting information, new information. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourself and bye for now.